time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast.
It is that time. The intro wasn't a lie. It's time. The BSing with the Guys live show, live and direct. Brad, a little bit of good news for you. Your favorite political power couple, basically was supposed to, they got subpoenaed for depositions in the House Oversight Committee's probe into the Jeffery Epstein case. And, of course, we're talking about none other than Hillary and Bill there, the Clintons. They basically told them to go fuck themselves. They don't have time to show up.
They did. They did. Yeah.
Nice.
They instead they decide we're gonna pin this lovely letter, on X, it kind of explaining why they didn't come. And now this was after multiple delays. They've had some funerals and some flight scheduling that they really couldn't, according to them, was out of their control. Well, they finally had dates set. I think today Bill was supposed to be there, and tomorrow Hillary is supposed to show up.
Right.
Well, didn't happen today. Of course, like I said, they get on X, they start putting up some letters, and it was basically it was like the letter kind of reminded me of it was the political equivalent of like your ex showing up at your door with a PowerPoint titled "Why You're the Problem." It was like it was titled on there, "This is not about right or left. It's about right or wrong."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just odd because, from where we're sitting, it seems like the left, being them, is refusing to show up for right, and the right would be, the right to ask questions under oath about this Jeffrey Epstein shit. Now, I just don't see how they get out of something like that. Like how, I guess it just shows you, like we always talk about, just how untouchable people like them are. Where they could basically rip up a subpoena and say, fuck you, we're not showing up.
Yeah, I mean, look, first thing I think it's a two-tier justice system. So I think that's where we at in this country. They'll never be held accountable for it. Excuse me, anything. With that being said, yes, I breezed over the letter that he sent, and it is total horseshit, to be honest with you. And I look at it, and as we go deeper into the night, I think when we get into Minnesota and just the liberal Democrat Party as a whole, when you start looking at it, it's like, God, y'all are they're such on the wrong side of everything. The Clintons, they're in defense mode, man. That's the only thing I can see, Shane. I think they're in total 100% defense mode, protecting their asses. They know they're guilty. You start looking into the Clinton Foundation, and God, who knows, and where a lot of the USAID money. I mean, they say some of it went to Chelsea, and there's no telling the monies that have transferred. I just think the whole letter is bullshit. I think they're all in defense mode with this, and I think that's where you're at with it.
Yeah, and they brush these subpoenas off like basically they're way too important to even show up, and they're painting it like it's partisan, and saying that they've already answered these questions in writing, so basically go away. And it's like like they're submitting some book report instead of facing actual questions about probably one of the most disgusting criminal networks in modern history with this Epstein shit.
It is.
So they provided, like I said, written responses a while back about it, and then they popped this one up, some lawyer written bullshit that they threw up on X today, claiming that, like I said, it's not about right or left, it's about right or wrong. Now, this is the same woman who for the last 30 years, turning right and wrong into basically a choose your own adventure book, where the only wrong, according to her, is holding them accountable. I mean, other than that, everything else is it's a free for all. I mean, it's
absolutely.
I don't know, man. It's the same duo, of course. Turned the the Oval Office into a fucking cigar lounge. They flew on the Lolita Express more times than most people fly coach.
Yes.
And now they're shocked. They're shocked that Congress wants to know why the government seemed to treat Epstein like he was running a nonprofit for troubled billionaires. You know, it's they're the victims.
30,000 emails, dude. Yeah, 30,000 emails just all of a sudden erased. And, we've went into it with Comey and Hillary Clinton. And even if she didn't know she was doing. And it's just, dude, it's just such bullshit. And, and look, I'm at the point for the country's survival that if some of these people out there that are higher ups, elites, as you call them in the political world, dude, if some of them aren't held accountable, I'm gonna lose all faith in the whole this whole country. I don't know where else to go with it.
Well, and the funny part is when it comes to this shit with these Clinton, the way that they can turn around and basically claim that what's happening to them, it's the same shit that they've done to people. For instance, they called this a weaponization of government. Right. Now this is from the same people who turned the IRS into their personal attack dog and the FBI into a Clinton fan club with badges, basically.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to watch them turn around and throw that back out at people like they weren't sitting there doing the same thing, or that they didn't have the power to control the government, and that's exactly what they were doing. They have, we sat there and watched her basically admit to crimes back in the day and nothing happened. But yet now, this is weaponizing the government against them, so no, they're just playing a big victim with these letters, and it's just crazy to watch. They'd have been better off putting out nothing and just not even fucking showing up. I don't understand who thought this was a good idea.
Exactly right. Yeah, anybody with half a brain would realize that what's going on with the Clintons and the whole Democrat Party, they are the party of evil. I'm going to say it tonight. I don't care who I piss off. It doesn't matter to me. They are the party of evil in this country. If you can't see what's going on, then I don't know if I can help you. But it's true with the Clintons. Yes. I mean, Shane, honestly, it's been, and it's nothing like it's just with the Tim Waltz, it's surfaced over the last 6 months or 8 months or a year, whatever they've been investigating. Clintons, God, how many years, Shane? 20 plus, 30 plus, that they've been around,
Right. And when it comes back to this letter that they posted explaining why they didn't show up for these, these deposition, it's they think that it makes them look, principled, basically, like they're standing up to the man when, it's the former president, former first lady, former secretary of state, and they're dodging a subpoena by basically saying it's beneath us, they're fighting the power. And it's like, you're not fighting the power. They are the power. They're the untouchable, Teflon coated. It's a 2-for-1 special with them. And it must be fucking nice, because if any of us got that subpoena, the last thing we could do is get on X and post a letter telling them why we're not coming. It's ridiculous.
I think if you look back in his letter, he was whoever wrote it was bitching about this. The 7 other that was supposed to be deposed were called off, and now you're going after us. Probably most of them, and even like the Clintons, take the 5th. They
it wasn't going to get anywhere anyway.
No, exactly right. But it's just the whole part of it. I don't know, man. It's deep. All I can say, brother, it's so deep,
Well, I know the letter criticized the committee for of course, partisan focus on political opponents, which is stupid. Right.
Yes,
of course, amid broader alleged government, overreaches or whatever. And it's as a federal seizure and agency weaponization while urging, I don't know, that they look at it like, basically saying there's more important things going on than us. Is how they kind of, but
of course
and it's
there
like,
is.
Well, right, yeah, don't worry about us. Like, concentrate on the real criminals,
And who was that? Trump. That's all I can say.
It's funny because you brought up a point earlier about how you really can't really see any of these high power political people ever being held accountable for anything, and that reminds me of Rand Paul was on Rogan's podcast today.
Okay.
And one of the things they were talking about was Anthony Fauci. And Rand Paul basically said that there is nothing they can do to hold him accountable for anything. That he tried. He said he tried with both administrations, the Biden administration and the Trump Justice Departments. And he said he's frustrated with him for not acting on his criminal referrals against Dr. Fauci for allegedly lying to Congress and destroying records. I mean, it kind of even pisses him off that he sees some of these people are fucking just untouchable. I mean, they caught Fauci in these, I guess, email communications or whatever, telling people to read this and destroy it with a lot of the shit that they were sharing back and forth.
Right.
You know, just they touched on a lot of the COVID policies and how, you know, young people didn't need the vaccine, but it was being pushed to everybody on false pretenses. And Rand Paul said it. Like, we're not going to be able to do anything to him. You will never see him be held accountable for any part he played in any of that. And it's just a shame, man. It's just a shame. It just really shows you, like you said, two-tier justice system. There's no, that's not just some made up bullshit term. It's real. It's real. And you're seeing it playing out right before your eyes with these politicians, man. Now, you know, it looks like they're taking Tim Walz down, but he's not one of the powerful ones. You know, he's just a little,
he's a local
gopher,
guy,
basically,
dude.
you know.
Yes. He's a local state guy.
He's nothing. Yeah,
he's nothing. He ran for vice president, but he didn't accomplish that. And I mean, Jesus Christ, to back a guy that with a name like Tampon Tim, Jesus. But
so Kristen and Justin, y'all okay in there?
Who's Rand Paul?
I'll show you. I don't have a picture of him, but no, he's a senator out of Kentucky. And you know, like I said, he was just on Rogan's thing, and they touched on a lot of shit, man. Foreign policy, COVID related issues, like I said, the immigration enforcement. I mean, they you know, of course, Rogan's wasn't too happy watching that video of that lady getting shot by ICE. You know, which a lot of us, like I said, it's not like we were all sitting around jumping up and down celebrating it, but that's still an argument people are having on whether or not that was justified or not. And apparently it's still causing major shit because I see them, you know, I guess you want to rallying or rioting or whatever all over the fucking country still. But, you know, anyway, so they talked about a few things, but the one that caught, like I said, my attention was the Dr. Fauci shit, because he's one of the people I really believe it needs to be held accountable, and not just with this COVID shit, but his history of wrongdoings go back decades. He's an evil fucking man. He's an evil man, and it was all for wealth and power, which I guess is what most, you know, of these evil fucking, these higher ups are after. But he's one of them, you know, he's one of them. And we all had to sit there and listen to him and take his advice and like it was biblical when they were throwing his dumb ass up on TV, telling all these fucking lies when this pandemic was going on. And the countless lives that have been lost due to his nonsense over the decades is ridiculous. And like I said, he'll never be held accountable for it. He'll never. He's a very protected man.
Yeah. I want to watch that documentary on him, the Thank You, Dr. Fauci, but
yeah.
I haven't wanted to pay for Angel Studios.
It goes to a good cause, Justin. Just do it, dude.
I think I'm going to.
Yeah, you should. Sign up right now.
No, it will. You probably don't want to, because it'll make you want to find him yourself, you know. I mean, it's the man is fucking evil.
Hey, that'll be the next live, dude.
Well, not down
Fauci.
Finding Fauci.
Finding Fauci, yeah. He's like another one from the Nazi regime, man, you know. Mengler or Goebbels, those kind of guys. Jesus God, yeah, dude. He was. He's an evil guy, man. But will he ever be held accountable, Shane or Justin? Nah. Never gonna happen, dude.
Well, no,
just like Hillary,
just
like Hillary, just like the Clintons, Obama. God, you can go on, and none of them. George Bush. I mean, look, I'm not here bashing Democrats. I'll bash both sides of the political spectrum any day of the week. And I lean Republican, but that doesn't mean that if you're doing wrong, and it's proven to be wrong, you should be held accountable. But God, it goes way back, man. It does. It's so deep, this government. And
it does.
Which Bush?
It does.
Both of them.
Oh,
How
shit.
about that? Yeah, how about that? Both of them, dude. Yeah. George H.W. and the other one. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
What
Dick
about
Cheney,
Jeb?
all of those guys. Well, Dick Cheney's dead, so we ain't got to.
What about
He's
Jeb?
got nowhere.
Oh, Jeb Bush, man.
Jeb, he's a wannabe, dude. He was a state level. he could never make it in a federal sector there, you know.
Nope. All right, well, let's switch gears. Kristen, something that's near and dear to you because of your recent transition from male to female, but the Supreme Court case involving transgender athletes, it's basically what they're trying to do is weigh in on these bans that are going on across the country in certain states that are stopping, of course, these guys from saying, hey, I'm a chick and wanting to play girl sports, and I've always said it's amazing that this is even an argument in this country.
That's really upsetting.
It's
doing that.
Super upsetting.
Yeah.
No,
it's
that I'm not allowed to play in girl sports.
People are going to be like, damn, is she really trans?
Are there still dudes playing in chick sports?
Well, in some states there are, but
can we bet on these games?
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Polymarket.
I'm sure you can. Yeah. But I know today they spent over 3 hours basically arguing over whether, these boys or, these transgender girls should be allowed, to lace it up and dominate in girl sports, basically. I mean, it's just we're in a crazy spot when we can't even agree on what a woman is anymore. It's weird, and now we're pretending like it's some profound mystery of the universe, and it's I don't know, it's just nuts. And
it's not all of us, Shane. It's not all of us. I mean, it's a select few that can't determine what gender they are, and we're asking them to cast their votes for politicians to run our country. I mean, I just, God, what does it lead back to? What party?
Yeah.
The Democrat Party, man. I mean,
always,
you got a party that doesn't know what gender they are, where they belong, who they are. I've just never seen nothing like it in my entire life, man. I'm old school. I just don't get the obsession with that side,
dude. When pushing that. I mean, look, you got these poor teenage girls who, they train, pretty much their whole lives if they're real big into sports. I mean, they're sweating through the practices, and dreaming of these scholarships, and then bam. Yeah. In walks some dude who decided last week that, what, I think I'm a girl now, and suddenly he's shattering these, these records that have been set. I mean, how is that
boxing, whatever it might be?
So how is that this fairness and this equality that they scream about? It's it's about inclusion now, which apparently means excluding these young girls from winning, because that's what happens when you let these boys get involved in this shit. I mean, we got states like Idaho and West Virginia. They're trying to slam the door on this nonsense, and then it winds up in the Supreme Court.
Right.
I mean, teams are, based on biology, not feelings, is what they're trying to say. I mean, it's just crazy.
Where are you feminist, dude? Where's your feminist in all of this?
Taking up for these girls. I know, man. And look, that's not to sit here. This is, we're not going to turn this into let's bash on the trans shit, whatever. Do your thing. It's just when it comes to this sports shit and these arguments that are so ignorant on why they should be allowed to do it. I mean, the science, it's there. I mean, they've got studies that are piling up high, very high, showing that even after, they pop these estrogen pills like Tic Tacs, that the guys who went through male puberty keep those advantages. Bigger muscles, denser bones. I mean, their lungs are bigger. I mean, it's science. It's not rocket science. It's just science.
So you're saying men are dominant?
Yes, when it comes to sports, very much so. Very much so. In pretty much every other aspect of life.
Right, exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. But the Supreme Court, they're treating this like it's some kind of, quantum physics or something, man. It's very simple. And look, most of the court is agreeing upon that. But of course, you got the liberals on it. They're jumping in saying that, there's no proof that there's any advantage, and there's limited data on the early transition, like pre-puberty. It shows little to no expected advantage. But look, they there's limited data is what they're saying about that. They're not saying it doesn't exist, but that's just the way that they try to get around this. They know you can watch the proof, especially when you get up to the collegiate level, man, and you start seeing, or even in the Olympics when we were watching that boxing shit going on.
Yeah, giving concussions and beating the shit out of girls, dude, and giving concussions to women that their boxing career is over with. And absolutely.
Now, Kristen, what's up, Matt? We'll see you in the comments. Kristen, you a serious note. I mean, you grew up female your entire life. You still identify as that. I mean, what would that be like? I mean, you played sports coming up. I mean, what's your take? Would you have cared if there was some dude on against a team you were playing, even on your team, just out there dominating the fuck out of everybody? Would that have bothered you, or is it just something that us men are like, what the fuck, you know?
Absolutely would have bothered me because I'm not an idiot. Men and women are different.
That would have, you said?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said that absolutely wouldn't have bothered me.
No, it definitely would have. It just doesn't make sense. We're not the same.
No,
right.
We're not.
So you would be opposed, right, Kristen, to having some, what he says he's a female on some softball team that you're playing every Thursday night, hanging out with your friends, and it would not be a good thing, right?
No.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Cock and balls swinging in the locker room, you know.
Well, and look, that's another good point. Even though we're poking fun at it, but I didn't even think about that aspect. That a lot of these girls, they're not comfortable with that.
No, exactly.
And they should be allowed to be comfortable in their private spaces. Mm-hmm. And and because we've seen too many of these cases where these people, they're not fully transitioned people. They're in there, like Justin said, just shit swinging in the wind.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing?
They
had
a video like assaulted.
No, right, exactly, and you should.
Exactly right.
You should. I just saw a video the other day, and of course I'm not going to pull it up because of what was in it, but they in a girls' locker room, dressing room, whatever. I think it was at a Planet Fitness. There's a person in the stall, and you can see the shadow of this person sitting on the toilet, jacking his shit. So, right. So, of course, the girl confronts him, and this man dressed up as a woman comes out the stall trying to claim that he wasn't doing that, but they were sitting there recording this shit for a couple minutes, and you could just see exactly what they were doing by the shadow.
Of course.
And that's just allowed at places like that. There was nobody that could tell this person to get out. Now, if they could have proved that he was doing what he was doing, of course, they'll step in and say, hey, you can't do that here. But they won't tell him, you can't come in here.
Right.
But a lot of it is just, it's a perverted, twisted way of thinking. Because this person, for one, was denying what they were doing. So they know what they were doing was wrong. And when the boyfriend came in to confront him, or her, whatever it was calling itself, all it could do was basically deny, and you're hating on me because I'm trans. And he was I don't care what you are. I don't care about your lifestyle. But when you're sitting there beating your shit in a girl's locker room, somebody has to step up and say something. It's not good enough that they just come in and they can use the locker room. Now they're going to sit on the toilets in there and jack off. I mean, it's crazy that we've gotten to this point. And that's not to say all of them are doing that, but there's enough stories where it should just be understood. If you got a dick, you don't. Yeah, if you got a dick, you don't come in here. That's it. Right. That's all there is to it.
I don't know.
It should be that simple.
Even if you get it cut off, you're still not a woman.
Maybe, but at least the sexual desires aren't there, so you're not letting these perverts slip through the system. Because that's the problem. A lot of them are using it to gain access to places that they normally couldn't have. And again, I'll say it for the base that's on these social media platforms. I'm not saying every single one of that's trans or perverts, but there's enough of them that use it to their advantage to get in there and start jacking off for some reason. Which, what are you doing? All
right.
So if they get their shit cut off, then, that sexual desire for women apparently isn't there then. Whatever. Go in there, sit down, and piss because you have a vagina. That's cool. Whatever. I guess if you're going to go that far with it, you deserve to use the woman's restroom. But, yeah, when your shit's still flopping between your legs, I'm sorry. I will never, ever sign off on that bullshit to say, well, it's let's be inclusive. It's his space too or her space too. Like, no.
No, it ain't.
No, that's the number one rule. You got a dick, stay out of it.
Do they call them manginas like they did in Step Brothers?
Mangina.
Damn, manginas. Huh? Sounds like angina, but yeah, a mangina.
I don't know. I just
Holy
think
shit.
do whatever you want to do, but don't invade my space
Thank you.
and don't
Right.
try to force your issues you have going on onto me.
Yeah.
Like,
And it should
if
be
you
that
look like a
simple.
man, I'm gonna call you a man. If you have a thing between your legs, you're a man. Even if you cut it off, you're not a
Right.
woman.
But then
Yeah.
you know
You
it
can't
boils
do the
down
things that
to.
I can do.
But it boils down to this. Okay, let's just say devil's advocate here, Kristen. And I'm gonna ask you that. Here we go. We know we got a biological man that supposedly is trans, and he wants to play softball with y'all because he wants, or it. I'm just gonna call it a it. It wants to be in women's sports. But he says, you know what? Or it says, I'm gonna go get dressed in the male's bathroom. Would you still be okay with that person playing ball with y'all or in the sport? Not, it doesn't have to be ball. It could be volleyball, whatever it might be, you know. But I say no. But what's your opinion on that? It's like if I go to the boys' bathroom and I change my clothes and this and that and everything's kosher, I'm not coming into the ladies' locker room, but I still want to be on the girls' team.
Are they on my team?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a competitor right there. Like, whose team are they on?
No, I just don't think it's fair.
I'll
No,
take
it's
him.
not.
I mean, her.
Absolutely, you're 100% right
Yeah.
on what I was asking. But yes,
Well,
I
it's
agree
not
with you
only
100%.
unfair, it's dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Super-
It's-
In
yeah.
certain
dangerous.
sports, it's dangerous. Have you
yes.
seen them motherfuckers spike the volleyball and smoke some of these girls in the face?
Dude, concussions.
Yeah, and look, not
Yeah.
that a girl can't do that. I mean, I'm sure there's some
Right.
girls that'll smack the fuck out that ball, but
Right.
It's
why help the
different.
situation by putting a man out there with them?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so when it comes to these contact sports, especially, it's
Right.
dangerous. It's not just like you're running track and field and the guy's
Right.
just faster. That alone isn't fair.
Right. Or
But man, when you
swimming or
start
whatever it might be, yeah.
boxing and UFC and you know anything that could potentially lead to someone getting hit, it's dangerous to put these girls in this situation. And I think, you know, I guess it's easier to say from the outside, but it would be nice to see these girls just sit out and say, we're not fucking doing it.
Mhm.
Now, I know that's easier to say for me because I'm
I
not
agree.
fighting for scholarship and you know what I mean? And
Right.
so it doesn't make it fair that they would have to do that, but it would probably stop a lot of this shit. It's like, okay, well, the one guy can sit out there in the court and play by his fucking self. We're not doing this. If I was the parent, I mean, I'd almost be tempted to not let my daughter do it just
Yes.
so I wouldn't be, you know, giving into that shit. But then your daughter has to suffer because of adults that decide it's okay for a dude to play with chicks. I mean, it's fucked up all the way around. There's no win in that, you know?
No. In the realm of things, I do not see the Supreme Court siding with that. I really don't. I don't think they're going to come back and say that it's okay. I don't know. I just don't see
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean,
Maybe
they,
I'm wrong.
no, I get it. And like I said, man, they did a study, I want to say in 24 or something in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. And, you know, they compared the transgender and cisgender, I like to say normal athletes and lab tests. You know, they
What
did
is
the strength.
cisgender?
That's what they call you if you're not trans. They got to label
They
us.
call me
Well, we're cisgender.
cisgender.
You know?
Or
So,
cis.
yeah. Transgender women, of course, they showed a higher, you know, hand grip strength is one of the things
Sure.
they tested.
Yeah.
You know, lung function, like I mentioned before, and just, you know, the
Muscular.
muscular. Our builds are different. I mean, it's science, bro. And I don't know how, you know, this is the same people, weren't they screaming just trust the science, trust the science?
Absolutely.
And it's just
when
such
it
a
works
weird,
for them, dude. When it works
yeah,
for
it's
them.
just such
dude.
a weird argument, man. And anytime, you know, and they hide behind, just like they would call us if they heard us talking about this, you know, you're transphobic. So they hide behind that because nobody wants to be a phobic. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be that. So everybody's still afraid to kind of really stand up and say, fuck this shit, man. It's not safe. It's not fair. I seen a video earlier. They had a dude dressed as a chick standing on the podium in the number one spot. I think it was some track and field shit, and the little girl standing in the second place spot. Well, when the male got off the podium after they took pictures and all, the girl stood on the number one spot, held up her hand, and they took pictures of her. Her family and all did. And I'm like, good, because technically she won that shit.
Absolutely.
You know, you take the guy out the equation, she came in first place. But it was nice to see that they weren't afraid to do that. Like she stepped right on that number one thing, held her hand up, and the parents and family and friends started taking pictures. They didn't shy away from that shit, afraid of what they would look like, Now, I don't know what city that was in. I doubt it was up north in Seattle or something. It was probably somewhere a little closer to us down here where we don't play that nonsense. But either way.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like transphobic, because I'm not going to go out of my way to harm somebody or start an argument with somebody.
That's my thing. Yeah, as far as
start with me first.
Yes, letting them live their life, whatever. Yeah. Do you. But when you start involving other people in your nonsense, which is going into personal, private spaces of women, you're involving them in your mental bullshit.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, it's some perverted reason. I don't give a fuck what they say.
Mm-hmm.
I will argue that. I'll die on that hill, man. It's no other reason to do that, to just be so hell bent that you have a dick and you want to go piss in the woman's locker room. No other reason.
I agree.
Just to go in a
100%.
place that you're not supposed to be in, that you normally can't access. So let me throw on a dress and some lipstick, and I can go in there all I want and beat my shit on the toilet. I mean, it's disgusting, man. I know what I'd beat if I caught a motherfucker doing that, and my daughter or somebody was in that bathroom. I'd be in jail.
You almost want to rate that kind of shit in like the pedophilia bullshit. I know that's
of course,
kids, but you know what I'm saying, dude.
I know exactly what you're saying, and
really, dude, you need an ass whipping.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy because that went further than I just feel comfortable in the girls' locker room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, you feel comfortable because your shit's hard and you want to go, asshole. Anyway.
Well, I think that it should be illegal for sports bookies to adjust the odds based on biological gender so that we can get better odds when there are men on the team.
They should. They should allow it in professional sports. Fuck
like
it.
Boxing, be like, yeah, I'm betting on the man, but you can't give me bad odds because he's a man. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, the funny thing is you rarely ever see it the other way, where a woman wants to go fuck with a dude, like some lady wants to go join the men's boxing team, I'm not saying it never happened. Like you've seen it in football before, but they're always like the kicker or something. Right. They're never like, let's put on some fucking pads and really go at it. It's always
let me ask you that,
men. These men are fucking perverted.
Let me play that devil's advocate, dude. Are you opposed to a woman, for a true woman that wants to be on the male's football team as a kicker or as a running back or as a wide receiver? Would you be like, okay, I'm cool with that?
No, you know why? Because the only danger that it's her. She's the only one in danger in that situation. If she chooses to put herself in danger, that's fine.
Yes.
She's not a threat to the men on that field.
Not at all.
So that's why I'm like, it's not about you just don't want the sexes mixing. It's that it becomes a danger, and it's a big misadvantage. Mm-hmm. It's not fair at all. Now, if a woman decides to put herself in that position where she's at a disadvantage and she could actually be harmed, hey, you knew that before you got on the field with 6'6", 300-pound men. That's on you then. You made that choice. But these girls are being forced into this position, and that's the problem.
Well, imagine how much better the team with the girl on it eats, right? Like, there's probably so many
sandwiches for days.
Like, just loaded tour bus full of just home cooked, just sandwiches and meals. And
it ain't happening because she wants to be one of the guys. She's probably spitting and chewing tobacco, and but like I said, you don't see all this, the opposite locker room, bathroom shit coming from the other direction. There's not a bunch of women that are trying to enter the men's restroom. And that's why I say most of this stems from some perverted shit you got going on in your mind, because men are fucking sexual perverts by nature. So there's no coincidence that most of this foolishness, a matter of fact, all of this foolishness that I've ever seen as far as this locker room shit has always been one-sided. It's always some dude trying to get up in the girl's bathroom. You don't see that shit the other way. Not that men would probably have an issue with it, but you don't hear about that. That's it's not a problem at all. Nobody's ever tried.
And how many times have you heard that supposedly a trans was in the women's locker room and there was some type of sexual assault that went down, or, I mean, it's rampant.
Too many times.
I'm not say rampant, but it has happened, dude.
It happened. And look, it's probably pushed to the forefront, just because of media and we're able, it's put in front of our faces. It's not like it's going on every day, all day.
No, exactly.
But it wouldn't go on at all if they weren't arguing over this nonsense. It's the most useless thing to argue over. Like fight over something else. I mean, this is so dumb. It makes no sense at all that this is wasting time in the Supreme Court.
Right.
With all the shit that they have to weigh in on, this is what they're arguing about in 2026 on whether or not somebody with a dick can compete with girls in sports and go into their private spaces. It's ridiculous, man.
Sad day in America,
crazy.
My brother. Sad day in America. It really is.
Yep. That's true, man. But like I said, now the liberal justices, they push back, of course. They're questioning the evidence of unfair advantage.
Right.
And it's like, well, I just can't believe these people became Supreme Court justices and they honestly don't know the advantages to being a man when it comes to competing with women in sports. I
but
refuse.
They're also the same people who think men can get pregnant, and it's not only women who can have babies and stuff like that. So it's not surprising.
Well, it is to me. It's not surprising to me because a liberal's going to do what a liberal does, and a conservative's going to do what a conservative does. I expect them to argue over stuff, but to say shit like, at least say, well, we just believe it's infringing on someone's rights. Don't say you're questioning the evidence of unfair advantage. Like, what? Why? They're smarter than that. These people didn't make it to Supreme Court justices by being stupid. So to me, that's just a bullshit cop-out of you trying to cater to your side.
It is. It's about the ideology.
Because they're like the 1%.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Why
and that's
we catering to two people. I don't get it.
They have a loud voice, man.
They do. They have a loud voice. And if you noticed a few years back, that small portion of society was able to control a lot because people were getting canceled. If you were talking like we're talking just a couple years ago, for one, we'd have probably got kicked off of here. And for two, people, not us, because we don't give a fuck. I mean, we're all self-employed and all, but people saying what we're saying that have jobs, they'd be fired if their boss found out. So that's where they gained that power from. They had everybody so fearful of their pushback from that loud minority because that's all they were. That's all they were. So now we all have to rearrange our lives and our beliefs because of this percentage of the population, because of mental fucking illness.
And accept it. Yeah, fuck that.
It's not good enough that we and then accepting isn't good enough. We have to praise it.
We have to praise it.
We have to praise it.
Right. We have to just adhere to it, absorb it, deal with it. It's in our culture, and it's such bullshit, dude. It really is. It's 100% bullshit, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't. It kind of turned into a little, deeper discussion than I had planned. I didn't want to come off like we were just bashing the trans community because, look,
why not?
Let them do their thing. I don't care. It crossed the line when they started trying to involve children, and it's not all of them. It's just some of the hardcore freaks out there. And it really started crossing the line when they were entering spaces where women should be able to feel comfortable, have their private time, and be left the fuck alone, which is when they're changing or taking a dump. I mean, it's like, leave them alone.
Exactly.
It's very simple.
And it goes deeper than that. It's like, look, man, we got the WNBA, we got the NBA, we got women's volleyball, we got men's volleyball. We have, if it's snow skiing or, you know what I'm saying, dude?
Hey,
everything is separated for a reason. If it's boxing or if it's wrestling or whatever it might be. And
you just gave me an idea on how to let these judges decide how they're going to vote with this stuff. The ones that are questioning the evidence, we could take the best WNBA team, let them play the best NBA team, and whoever wins, they can show the justices if there's any unfair advantage there.
Right.
And you watch, it'd be 172 to maybe one if they lucky and got fouled and made one of the foul shots, and that would be it. I mean, it wouldn't even be close, and that's not a joke, because the NBA. Remember when they were destroying other men in the Olympics? You know, imagine if they threw them up there with a bunch of women.
Yeah,
and that's not to take nothing away from the women, but it's just it's what it is. It's reality. It's reality. So to me, that's how they ought to decide it. A basketball game right there in the courthouse. Perfect.
Let's
just solve that
make
problem.
them do like a potato sack race or something.
Yeah. Well, this guy, don't push it on everybody else. I agree. I agree. And that's all we're saying.
100%. Don't push it on nobody else, dude.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the making you cater is what I don't understand.
Yes.
That I never understood. It's like, we're not sitting there saying we're going to round up trans people, and it's like we don't care enough. But don't make us care. I mean, I don't give a fuck until it starts messing with the women and kids. Yeah. Other than that, we don't give a fuck. Do what you do.
Exactly. Exactly, dude.
So,
yeah, don't make me I have a softball team, but this one person that's a trans, and it's like, no, you're not welcomed onto the team, because I have a team of all girls that we're playing softball with, and you're a guy, and it's not kosher, man. It just doesn't work, dude. No.
Well, sound like you're not trying to go to the world championship.
Yeah, you gotta.
No.
See, look, David knows sports were separated between men and women because men have major advantages over women when it comes to strength. Now, David figured that out, but there's a few justices on the Supreme Court that still can't figure this out.
It's all about their social values, dude. It's so crazy, dude, that they just would adhere to their morals, to their freaking morals, not their social values, that they could make a decision quickly, and it should have never went to the Supreme Court.
I wonder how they're going to do. I can't see them overturning those bans in those states. I don't know.
God, I don't know. Dude, I don't see it, dude. I don't see it either, but I don't know.
Because they're saying it's expected by the end of fucking June, early July. Like, dude, I could decide this now. What are we doing?
Exactly.
I mean, but they're saying it could affect similar laws in 27 other states that are currently, they ban transgender participation in girls and women's sports. As well as national policies that could, the Olympic restrictions and shit like that. I mean, so it's kind of a big decision because it could be a snowball effect.
Well,
so,
what if the justices sent it back to the states?
And to me, but
it's up to your state to decide what you want to do.
Well, and I think that's what it.
Well, let me hit this right quick, because what if you say, well, it's being sent back to the states. If you want transgender players in your state, I get it, I guess, but I think it's all bullshit. But if you say, but where does it stop? Does it say that you can qualify for the Olympics, or you can qualify? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, what if that's where it's going, dude? I'm just going to send this back to the states and let them deal with it.
See, here's what they're arguing about, though, and I get it from a judge's perspective, because you're trying to look at everything from a legal standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. So what the debate is over is whether transgender identity warrants heightened scrutiny under equal protection law, and basically how to apply the 2020, there was a Bostock decision, which extended sex discrimination protections to transgender people in employment. So they're saying it should also stretch out into sports and shit, like just all across the board, that they should be protected from discrimination. So this is more like a discrimination suit, right, that these people are being discriminated against. So I get why the judges have to kind of weigh this and say, okay, how do we handle this? I just don't like the reasonings from some of the liberal justices saying that they're questioning if it's unfair, right, advantages in sports. To me, that's not the question. To me, it's, are we going to look at this like you're discriminating against someone based on their sex? So then you have to say, okay, are we going to do it based on their biological sex, or are we going to say discriminating against the sex that they claim to be? So how do you how do you judge that? What do you do with
Right.
that? You know?
I mean, since the beginning of fucking time, Genesis, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man, woman, it doesn't matter what you want to play in or what you want to do. It should all boil down to biological. If you're born a man, you can say surgeries, this, that, hormones, whatever you want. It doesn't change you from being biological. I think is
Right.
what
Well,
it boils down to.
I get it. Yeah. And that's how
Yeah.
we judge it. It's just,
And that's the way it should
left,
be.
right. But
That's the way it
the
should
problem
be.
is right. But the problem, well, you say that because that's how you believe. And I believe that too. But I'm saying the country is split on that because half the country, I say half, I don't know what the percentage is, but a portion of the
half,
country
but yeah.
believe that you can choose your gender. So
Yeah,
once
they
you
fucking
choose your
idiots.
gender, that's what you are in their mind. So now if you start getting
Gotcha.
discriminated against, well, they look at it like that's no different than discriminating against someone because they're black
It's
or
all
because they're
bullshit,
white or
dude.
whatever, which if you're
It's
white,
all
it's fine.
bullshit.
But
No.
yeah, well, the conservatives are looking at it from a simple standpoint. They're just emphasizing that the states should have, leeway to protect women's sports. A lot of times they frame it as recognizing endurance differences, between sexes rather than discrimination based on your transgender status.
Right.
It's they look at it from a scientific, realistic standpoint that, hey, you were born this way, so that's how you're going to have to go through life. It's kind of like if you go to the doctor, just because you're in a dress, you can't check female.
Right.
If you're trying to go to the doctor and something's wrong with you, you need to let them know what the fuck you are, not what you woke up and decided to be that morning.
Right.
To me, it's that fucking simple. But I just think these judges want to make sure they get this the right way. And like I said, I kind of understand why they're taking a minute to look at this and say, okay, is this going to be considered discrimination? Or is it just, yeah, you're right, they were born a certain way. That's just what they're going to have to identify from here on out when they get into the world of sports and, all that other shit. But so I don't know. It's a tough one. Like I said, I just don't like the reason why the liberal justices are questioning it because I think it's stupid fucking reason. It's just dumb.
Olivia, are you a man?
Yes, one can check. Yeah. Oh, no, I see Olivia's comment. Let me pull it up. Because everybody, they take everything so just literal. Of course, I can check I'm a fucking moose if that's an option. But I'm saying in order to get the right care, you need to tell the doctor what you are. Because you're in there saying you're a man and you've got fucking cancer on your ovaries, but they don't know to check you for that. Because you know what I mean? Like, come on now, you don't go to the fucking doctor lying about what sex you are. Get out of here with that nonsense.
I saw a video the other day. It was.
So am I, Olivia.
Yeah, the patient was videotaping the doctor because I guess it was like a woman who changed into a man. Yeah. And the doctor was telling her you're pregnant. And she was like, I can't be pregnant. I'm a man. Like, that doesn't make sense. Stop saying I'm a woman. Stop saying I'm pregnant. Blah, 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 blah. I'm a man. And the doctor's like, I'm telling you, first of all, you're a woman and you're pregnant. Like,
yeah,
but
Kristen, I got to tell you, Kristen, have you heard of anal birth?
Anal birth. I think that's how I came. I think my mom shit me out.
That's enough, dude. But no, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's all fun.
Yeah, but what if she went in there and checked mail on the box, though?
Absolutely,
on the paper,
dude.
Kristen.
Yeah.
I mean, Olivia said that never happened.
Okay.
Where did you say you saw that?
I've seen the video
I was
as
on
well.
Twitter somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, it had to be
Yeah,
if it was on
fuck
Twitter.
off, Olivia.
It's true.
I've seen the video.
Sorry, we love you, Olivia.
As long as you subscribe.
No, but that was my point. Like I said, with the doctor stuff, it's just you can't go in there doing that. I mean, you can, but it's not going to benefit you. So I just look. You need hopefully the Supreme Court makes the right decision on this shit just to protect these young girls. But to me, that's just a step in the right direction because until they do a nationwide ban on allowing these people in women's private spaces, then I don't think you fixed anything at all. And how that hasn't been a major discussion and how more states, which I guess them liberal states aren't going to jump on board with that, so they'd have to be forced to do it, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because if I'm a woman in that state, I'm looking at it like, well, what the fuck? What about us?
Yeah.
What about us?
100%.
There's, like Kristen said, a 0.5% of those people in the state, but 40% of the state is women, but you're catering to them, putting us in bad positions. I just don't understand it, man. I don't know how anybody goes along with that. Even women. Even women. I don't get it.
Well, it's like you said. I mean, it does. I know we have dove deep on this, dude. Way deeper than I thought, dude. But it's like, do you really care? But when you fill out an application and you're a fucking man and it says male or female, it's like biological. It doesn't. I don't care what you do. I really don't. Male, female, transgender, do what you want. But when it comes down to healthcare and needing what you need, it's like, dude, well, biological, I have a dick. You know what I'm saying? But I'm claiming I'm a female. So you don't need an OBGYN. That's for sure,
Right.
dude. You know what I'm saying?
The sexes have different, they're different doctors. I mean, there's different ailments that the sexes get that need to be looked out for.
Dude.
I mean, most women, you're not going to get prostate exams and shit. I don't think they can get testicular cancer. I'm not sure, but I don't think women can. So you probably want to, you know what I mean? It's just silly. The whole fucking thing is silly. And it seems to be one-sided, where it's a bunch of dudes that want to be fucking girls, or at least in girl spaces, and that's it. They're fucking perverts. So all there is to it. Not all of them. Let me take that back. Somebody gets their feelings hurt on here.
I put
But
what's on my license if I have an OBGYN.
Who are we talking to?
Olivia.
Oh, Olivia. I don't believe anything Olivia's saying.
No.
Honestly, don't.
Do you drive a Subaru?
Ooh.
Do you think men should be banned from cooking shows?
Yeah.
So.
I do too. No men in the kitchen, man.
God damn. What about Emerald?
Damn. No, only women. Women need to be cooking. Get back to the old days. Cooking, cleaning, take their voting rights away.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, voting rights, dude. Can't own shit, dude. Yeah, I'm in, dude.
Yep.
That sounds.
It was simpler times, man. Simpler times.
That doesn't
like, I don't
pertain
vote
to
anyway.
you, Kristen. That doesn't pertain to you, dude. But yeah.
Hey, if I don't have to work, I'm good.
Bro,
I hear you.
Those were better times, man. Yeah, see, women didn't have to work. I mean, they worked. They
Dude.
sat home and. But
Yeah,
I mean,
just
they
Made
were,
omelets and shit,
they
you
were
know?
homemakers, dude. The kids knew how to act for the
Taking
most part.
care of kids, laundry,
I
cooking,
love it.
the household. Yeah, there's a place, man.
Yeah. It's just we want too much shit nowadays, so we need 2 incomes in every house. I mean, everybody has to have 2 and 3 cars and a TV in every single bedroom, and
So true.
$1,500 cell phones for the entire family. And all that shit wasn't even a reality back when we were young. A lot of houses shared a vehicle. I mean, it took forever for me to have a TV in my bedroom. The TV was in the living room. That's where everybody sat and watched TV. Shit like that,
Could you imagine
says
having
he
to
likes
adjust
the
the
kitchen.
seat every time you get in the car?
Well, you don't allow her to drive it. I was just saying households have one
No.
car. Yeah, the women, no. You don't let her out the house.
No, exactly. Dude.
No,
Yeah,
fuck
you
that.
change the locks, dude.
No. But anyway, enough of the trans talk. I've had enough for the rest of the year. So 2026, we're done with that.
It's so funny.
My
He's a
God, have y'all seen the original video?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You seen the
Seen
original
what?
one? The original one where he was all up in a dude's ear with a fucking bullhorn.
Yes.
And apparently, the dude had enough of it. and
Dan was
just-
the one
Can
beating
you blame
everybody
him?
up.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I can't
No.
blame him, dude. It was let me see something. I'll pull up the big where you can actually hear how aggravating this motherfucker was who needed to be
Do it.
taken care of. As soon as I can find it, hold on.
What's your like defendant pedophile shit, bro?
There he is.
Yeah, so Dan's the one, what, in the little camo-looking jacket or whatever that is, holding the American flag, huh?
That's Uncle Dan.
I don't know what's more aggravating, that black dude's voice that was screaming or that megaphone.
What? Piece of shit. Nobody
These
likes
fucking
you.
people. Oh, what is that? An ICE protest?
He's trying so hard to get away too.
Not about shit, bro.
It is. Left right to the face.
Dan's got a mean ass hook.
He does, dude. Then he starts taking them all on. Ooh, if he'd have caught him with that one.
Yeah.
He does go to sleep though.
Oh, them people are so aggravating, dude.
Good for Dan.
God, just out
Let's
there.
start a
making
GoFundMe.
fools.
We gotta find Dan, dude. We gotta bring him on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big Dan. Yeah, dude. It I don't know, man. They're that ICE shit is still heating up, and it's people are out there. And if you really dig into it, from what the Trump administration was saying, is they were really concentrating or trying to concentrate more on, whether it be violent criminals that were over here, not supposed to be, child rapists and, the bad guys. Not saying that they haven't picked up anybody that was, quote unquote innocent. But for the most part, that's what they're trying to do, is just get some of these criminals out of here. Now, if somebody would say they're all criminals because they broke the law in just coming over here. But if you want to just say, okay, we'll call the criminals the ones with criminal records that have done some terrible crimes that are over here. Well, it seems like the left just doesn't give a fuck. They don't care.
Exactly.
You can't pick up any of them. It's just wrong.
Right.
And it just, I don't know, man, but it's apparently there's been a surge of the arrest, of course, and detentions under these expanded policies that Trump has put out. But now they're saying about half of the ICE detainees had no criminal convictions or pending charges, according to some websites, Now, I mean, what do you do? Do you be picky and choosy and just go get the ones that have these criminal, backgrounds or these charges or convictions behind them, or you just round them all up? I mean, I don't know. It's such a touchy fucking subject, man. It's, I mean, we've talked about it a few times, and I think we're all on the agreement that, if you're going to come into the country, do it the right way.
Right.
Yep.
That's not how everybody feels, though, because you have people that they look at it from a humanitarian aspect, that, well, they all, they need help. They're coming here for a better life. They deserve, the same rights and freedoms that we have and whatever. But when you start seeing the massive fraud that comes with a lot of it, and the massive tax dollars that are spent, even if it's not fraud, even if it's legit, a lot of them are on the taxpayer's dime. Now, there's a lot of them that are hard workers. There's no doubt in that. There's a lot of them that are out there busting their ass every day, doing jobs that a lot of people don't feel like doing. I get it. But there are also a lot of them that are riding the welfare system. And I don't think that's right. I mean, I just don't think that's how it should be. I think there has to be some sort of, way to crack down on that. And that's exactly what Trump and them are doing. And I do believe that these people are out there in the streets acting like idiots, are escalating the tensions further than they need to go. And it's just making everything just a bad situation, a dangerous situation. And they're not stopping anything. They're just making a bunch of fucking noise. That's all they're doing.
Didn't ICE release like a list of the criminals they've deported recently and their crimes and shit? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been talked about. I mean, there's been, individuals, convicted of child rape, murder, sexual assault, domestic violence, a lot of drug trafficking. And it's like, well, why are we stopping all of this? I mean, it's crazy, but I don't know, man. These sanctuary cities, bro, they don't care who's roaming the streets. And when I say they, I just mean the politicians that are running these cities. They don't care because they don't have to live among them. They don't have to live where the average citizen is living that is dealing with this. Now, apparently the average citizen don't care. It's like the lesbian that got shot. Yeah, I mean, she was fighting for their rights to stay. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's another touchy subject that nobody can agree upon. But I mean,
it's not really touchy, dude.
Justified.
New York.
I heard New York started their child care whatnots all their free, childcare stuff.
Oh
Heard
yeah,
they've
yeah,
started
yeah.
it.
They did that. That's probably not going to be taken advantage of at all.
They're probably sending
No.
them to Minnesota.
Yeah,
all the
that's what they-
kids.
That's terrible, man. Yeah, I seen that. Was it the home daycare or something?
Yeah, I just saw that they had started implementing all their child care policies, and it's a big headline. I don't know exactly where they started on their big beautiful bill of New York, but
Yeah. No, I don't think there's much good going to come out of that, unless he
No.
can't get shit done that he's talking about
well,
doing.
I
but-
did see that they vetoed that housing bill that was going through. We had talked about it maybe 2 weeks ago or so, where you had to consult with the city of New York in order. Basically, they were wanting you to have to offer your house to nonprofits and
Right.
have it in front of them for 30 days to allow the nonprofits time to bid and see if they want your property before you could list it to the open market. And I did see today that got vetoed. So
Yeah.
Good.
they're blocking
Probably
some
a
of
good
it.
thing.
Well, good.
Wow.
All right. What else we got going on? Anything crazy? Anything worth talking about before we stop bothering these fine people?
No.
No.
She said. No. All right. Well, I mean, massive fraud. We could just fraud. We could fraud it all night because that's what's going on all over the
fraud.
fucking
Total.
country, man.
Total
But-
fraud.
The ATF does have to give people back their forced reset triggers. So there's that.
There is that.
Yes, they
I was like-
do.
Well, on another note, I was fraud made me. It came to my mind. I was reading that they're saying the Treasury officials, man, admitted that 10% of the entire U.S. budget is stolen annually through waste and abuse. That's a lot of fucking money. I mean,
Dude, so you're talking like, wait, 10% of the annual budget?
10%
17
of the
trillion?
entire U.S. budget is stolen.
So
annually.
you're saying
Anally.
anally.
Darn.
So do we do like, I mean, I'm just throwing a number, 17 trillion, bro. 17 trillion. So 10% of that?
Yeah, equals a lot.
1.7 trillion, 2 trillion
That's
of that is
crazy.
bullshit. Oh,
And
Jesus Christ.
yeah, just in
Yeah.
like I said, whether it be waste, it could be
Well,
fraud, it could a lot of
yeah.
it's waste.
Yeah.
You know, that they have a lot of these, like for instance, the homeless problem that they're trying to solve in San Francisco that never gets solved. Well, they're
Yeah.
dumping, they're dumping just billions and into that shit, or millions, and it's doing nothing for the last 10 years. But I know they're talking about just I don't know what they were saying. 300 New York, let's see, Treasury 5%. I'm just reading. I'm scanning this. Redirecting funds.
See, and my
Let me see
dumb
some-
ass would go to jail instantly if I tried to steal from the government.
Yeah.
Immediately. They'd be knocking on my door.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was Treasurer Secretary. He said he estimated 5 to 10% of the $7 trillion annual federal budget is lost to fraud, waste, and abuse each year.
Damn.
So there's the Government Accountability Office, which I didn't even know we had that, but it confirms $230 to $520 billion in annual fraud losses from 2018 to 2022, plus $162 billion in improper payments, mostly overpayments in Medicare and Medicaid.
Yeah.
So that's one of the waste, I guess. You know, I mean, they're getting billed these outlandish amounts, and then they're paying them. They're just paying them. I mean, that was the big one with the Medicare and Medicaid fraud. United Health, accused of fabricating fake diagnosis for patients to scam billions for Medicare. So it's, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? You know how long this shit's been going on?
Right.
It just brings it all back to where, the amount of money they've taken from the honest, hardworking people in this country it's criminal, man. It's disgusting. It's hard to, they can't even put a number on this shit. I mean, look at these estimates between 233 to 521 billion dollars. They don't even fucking know. They're just throwing numbers out.
Yeah.
It's I mean, the SBA loans, $330 million in SBA loans is issued to ineligible recipients.
Wow.
Including people that were over 120 years old, children under 11, and individuals with future birth dates.
Right.
Like people that want this is the kind of shit that Elon was uncovering when we were talking about, all this fraud.
And dude, where's it all coming from? You,
Us,
you,
yeah.
and me.
Yeah.
Tax-paying citizens, dude, are paying for this bullshit, dude.
Yeah. I know. I mean, look at California alone, man. They got allegations of up to $76 billion in fraudulent spending across programs. Now, like I said, some of that's that homeless shit.
Yep.
Unemployment Development Department. Yep. Well, I was listening to somebody talk the other day. They got more money for, let's say you're a caseworker and you're trying to help somebody find a job. Well, they would get a bigger bonus if that person was out of work longer. So if you help somebody that's been out of work for 2 years, you get a little bigger kickback than if the person was only out of work for 3 months. Now, at face value, they look at it like, okay, we need to help the people that have been out of work longer. That's why we do that. Right. But then the caseworkers just take advantage of it. They throw these bullshit. Oh yeah, well we'll get to your. I ain't found nothing for you yet. Sorry, I've been trying. I've been looking. I know we're going on a year, but I haven't found nothing for you. Well, they're just collecting bigger and bigger bonuses the longer they can hold these people off from finding jobs. It's these liberal save the world policies always amounts to someone making more money by not fixing a fucking issue.
Absolutely.
It never fucking fails. These tree hugging, just like I said, try to save everybody in the fucking world. And I'm not saying you shouldn't try to help people, but it's always taken advantage of in like the homeless shit, where if the person in charge of stopping this homelessness in San Francisco makes, say, $870,000 a year, well, why the fuck would they want to stop homelessness? It makes no sense. I would never want homelessness to end. So that's why it's been going on for a decade now. Right. So but that's another liberal run organization that says, hey, let's get a shit ton of grants that come from taxpayers to try to fight the homelessness. Sounds great on the surface. Yeah, let's fight homelessness. Meanwhile, people are getting wealthy and the motherfuckers are still homeless. None of it makes any sense.
So true. So true, dude. You hit the nail right on the head.
Hey,
dude.
We talk about, the free healthcare whatnots and how terrible like a government hospital would be, right? As one of the big arguments for like, free healthcare is crazy because it'd be like the DMV every time you go to the hospital. But why not keep hospitals private like most of them are and just give Medicaid to everybody?
Brad, finance guy?
God, I would not be Jesus Christ, dude. Dude, I would not be in even willing to take government health care because you're diagnosed with the worst terminal illness, and here we are. We'll pay for that, but we won't pay for that. And no, I don't know, but healthcare is fucked up all the way around, dude. You can think about Obama for that, dude. Obama has fucked up all of healthcare, dude. It'll never be the same, dude.
Yeah, the problem with it, like Justin, as far as it all being like government run, basically, is what you're saying.
Well, just like everything stays the same where your doctor's offices are private and your hospitals are private, but
God, you
just
sound like
get
Obama,
Medicare,
dude.
like. When you have a kid and they're on Medicare, my son was on Medicaid when he was younger, and you bring him to the doctor for anything, and it's
but it's
you don't get a bill, it's paid
though, right? But it's being paid for by taxpayers.
Well, right, but if we're spending it on
everybody's
fucking condoms
on it
for Gaza,
and And the foreign aid, they were billions funneled to programs like the alpaca farming in Peru. Don't forget that one.
Yeah, right. So, like,
well, they could. That's what people are pissed off about, that the amount of money that was being stolen and sent to play, like I just named with the alpaca farming. I didn't make that up. That's a real thing. Or jam making. You know what jam is? You know, like jelly in Guatemala. We sent money for that. So you're right. They could sit there and give everybody fucking decent health care and afford to pay these fucking doctors the salaries that they're making nowadays, because that's always a knock, that if the doctors don't make a lot of money because everything's government run, then you're not going to have good doctors. Well, they can afford to pay these fucking doctors.
Sure.
When you see the billions that are going to these bullshit causes and all these these NGOs all around the fucking world, they can afford to pay these fucking doctors exactly what they're making now, and that's what's got people pissed off, because they will not do it. They got the money to take care of their fucking citizens, and they refuse to fucking do it, all while they're sending money overseas, funneling this shit to stupid
100%.
fucking programs like alpaca farming in fucking Peru. It's ridiculous. So that's why it's a greed. It's a money thing. You'll never get government-run healthcare worth a fuck, because they're not going to pay these fucking doctors when they have the money to do it. But they're not going to do it.
Look at VA, dude. You know?
Look at anything government-run.
Yeah.
And now that you see the kind of money they have, they could pay all them government-run places. They could get people in there that are competent and pay them decent salaries to find the best of the best, but they always hide behind, we can't afford any more money for the program. We don't have the money. We need to up taxes if we want to put a little bit of money. Up taxes? Motherfucker, they just said 10% of what them fuckers are taking from us is stolen or wasted.
Right.
So they got the money. All this fraud that's being uncovered makes every aspect that you look at when it comes to these government-run programs and how shitty they are, it makes it so just inexcusable. There's no fucking excuse for it, because they have the money to pay competent fucking people, and they won't do it.
And dude,
absolutely,
Shane and Justin, it's not on a federal level as it is, but dude, look even at the state level, dude, of what our state, you know, of what we piss away every year, dude, for healthcare, government assistance, SNAP, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on, dude. What we piss away every year, dude. We shouldn't be paying no taxes, dude. Honestly.
Yeah.
Dude. You know.
No, because I'm still reading, and it's like it's more and more. The more you get into it, you know, the Affordable Care Act, you know, subsidy applications funneling millions, 2.7 trillion in total fraudulent government payments to discovered in audits. I mean, it never fucking ends, man.
It never ends, dude.
It never ends. It's got that Sam Bankman-Fried shit. What's that?
I feel like they could, like, with all the fraud that's being discovered, you know, you could at least raise the income limit for Medicaid by
they could that's
$200,000. You know, I mean, even if it's not for everybody, like. When
let me tell you something, they could change a lot of shit for every fucking American with the amount of money that they're uncovering in this fraud. And like I said, that's what gets me more fired up than anything, is because they can do it and they don't. They could have been doing it and they haven't, and they're not going to. That's what makes it fucking worse, is when you really see the scale of fraud that's been going on in this fucking country, to know that some people are living like they live, trucking hardest to get by, struggling. Meanwhile, they're helping people all around the fucking world with bullshit causes just so they can funnel some more fucking money to the Clinton Foundation or whatever the fuck they got going on, while Americans are struggling. It's a fucking shame. It's terrible.
It is, and that's why I bring up the healthcare, because I mean, it's like you either get government healthcare if you're broke enough to be able to get it, I guess, or you get fucking scammed by health insurance companies. You know, you got to pay fucking $800 a month, and then you've got to reach a $10,000 deductible before they'll pay anything. And it's well, nuts.
They're in the business of no risk is the problem with them, you know, and it's like you said, you can you can get a cheap office visit, or your services or whatever you go get can be cheap, but you know, the deductible is going to change. It's like you said, they get you, or your monthly payment can be cheap, but your deductible's, you know, fucking high as fuck.
True.
So that's they get you one way or another. Their job isn't to sit there and take a chance at losing any amount of fucking money. It's a shame, man. And I mean, what do you do though? Because I mean, I'm not gonna say you need insurance, but it's nice to have if something major happens. I mean, most of us are, you know, when you're of a certain age, you don't worry about it much. I mean, I don't go to the doctor much, but in the event you come down with something, you're gonna wish you fucking had insurance. So they got you by the fucking balls, man. Especially if you make too much money to qualify for any government assistance, which the way that they're stealing our money, nobody should fucking make too much money to qualify. They should be giving us all amazing healthcare, not just free. It should be fucking top-notch healthcare with the amount of money that they're fucking stealing from us every year. They can afford to do it.
As of right now, if I got health insurance, which I don't have it because it's fucking expensive, if I had health insurance, it would be my second most expensive bill out of all my bills.
It's crazy. Yeah, well, think about it. The older you get,
I just find cash doctors or, you know, urgent care and pay cash there. And that's about it, because it's far cheaper than paying for insurance at the stage of life that I'm in, unless I fucking, you know, come down with something crazy. But
I talked to someone today, mid-50-ish, almost $2,000 a month for his health insurance. Him. That's not family. That's him. I'm like, motherfucker. Now, it's great he's in the position to afford that, but not a lot of people are.
No.
That's a big house. I mean, you know what I mean? You know what you can get for $2,000 a month? I'm saying I don't know who's listening around the country, but down here, that's a nice size fucking home. So now if you got a house note, you got a mortgage, you got a car note, which, you know, look, not everybody has to have that, but if you're just living a normal life, you got a car note, house note, insurances, blah, 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 and then your health insurance bill comes in and it's more than your fucking house note. That's ridiculous, man.
I was going to say, if you're living a normal life, it seems like you'd have to choose between paying your house note or your health insurance.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. It's tough. And it's not that life has to be easy. I'm not saying that, you know, there's no reason for the anger that people are feeling. The reason is because they can afford to let us all live a better life in this country if they'd stop fucking stealing. But they won't do it. This shit ain't going to stop just because they're uncovering this shit. Wait till this administration's out of here, because they stopped a lot of the money just pouring out once Elon was in there and they were doing what they're doing. They didn't stop all of it, but they shut off some of the faucets. But it's just going to open them right back up when this administration's gone.
Yeah, they'll find documents that prove that you know, the Trump administration was lying. There was no fraud ever.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what they're going to come with. And not only that, but they're slick with it, because they were doing that right under our nose anyway. And nobody knew, because the only way you're going to know is if you're on the inside and see that going on. Well, the politicians aren't going to say it. It took somebody like Elon to get in there, and Trump allowing him to actually audit the government, basically. And they were like, whoa, the fuck is all of this? Because nobody's ever done it before. Because why would they? That cuts off everybody's little fucking money faucet. So that's what it's going to go back to, man. And we're all, like I said, we're going to be sitting around here where majority of the country's fucking struggling, just trying to make it, living paycheck to paycheck. And these assholes are sending money over fucking seas, you know, to any and everybody who's asking for it. It's nuts, man. It's just crazy.
It really is. And like I said, just, you know, going back to the healthcare one more time, is like, it really blew my mind when we first got a quote through work for healthcare, because it wasn't even like, it was like, oh, it's just kind of another bill, you know, like it was such an insane fucking number that I'm like, there's no way, you know?
Yeah.
It was something like $600 every 2 weeks, $600 out of her paycheck. And then the deductible was like $8,000 or something like that. And I was like, we're not going to use that. Like, we would never meet the fucking deductible by between what we're paying them a month. We could just pay that to the doctor when we go. Like, it's so
that's
insane, the number. I was like, there's no way this is real.
Well, that's what Mark Cuban was saying. I know you know Mark Cuban from Shark Tank and, you know, other adventures he's been on. But that's what he was basically on X, not arguing with people, but getting their opinion on it, saying, you know, it would almost make more sense, like you said, to not pay monthly to these insurance companies and just, save up some of that money that you would have been paying. And not all of it, of course, because if that's the case, you could just be paying them, but save up a portion of what you were going to pay. And then if something happens and you need to go to a doctor visit, this, that, and other, you pay out your pocket. Even if you need a fucking x-ray, it's cheaper than going through insurance for some people. Now, the problem is if it's catastrophic issues, not the average person can afford cancer treatment and shit like that. So that's when it bites you in the ass for not having insurance. This shit that you and I and Kristen or whatever do, where we might go if we get, a cold that won't go away. Well, we can just afford to go to the fucking doctor and give them $100 and say, give me some fucking antibiotics or something. Yeah. But wait till you come down. You got fucking seizures or headaches one day and they tell you got a fucking brain tumor. You know what I mean? Then you can't afford to live. It's like, fuck. Like you literally can't afford to live anymore. It's just, well, fuck, I can't do it.
Yeah, and then it's too late. I doubt you would be able to get health insurance at that point.
No. Yeah, they're not insuring you once they find out. I got a buddy of mine's got a little young guy. He's got a heart issue now that they found. And he, like a dummy, like the couple days after he was diagnosed with it, they tried to up his health insurance, or something. And they're now, no, fuck you. They wouldn't do it. And I don't know why he expected them to. I mean, once they know you got an ailment like that, they're like, nah, we're good. If they even cover you, you better hope you have insurance,
Right. Yeah.
That's the worst time to shop for a policy.
When you hear, like, I don't know how it's legal, but you'll hear where people will go to the pharmacy with insurance and they would have paid less than their copay for their prescription if they were just cash pay.
Just cash.
It's like crazy. Just cash would have been like a $20 prescription, but the copay for the insurance was $45. You know?
Yeah, it's nuts, bro. It's a fucked up system we have. The only alternative would be government run. And if you want to go to a hospital that reminds you of your local DMV, then, I mean, I guess I'm all for it.
Well, but that's why I say, like, why change the hospitals over to government run and not just a government funded thing like we have now with Medicaid and Medicare, where, you can go pick any doctor you want, right? And it's paid for.
But I'm going to tell you what, who's going to pay these doctors the major kind of money they make if all you're getting is government funded? See, these hospitals they're privately run, so they can bill the fuck out of these insurance companies. They sky high on everything. You get a Band-Aid, it's $27 fucking dollars. Well, if it's government run, the government's going to be like, no, we're going to lowball that shit. We'll give you 75 cents. And it seems like it would just lead to where now you've got doctors that are making $80,000 a year opposed to, 7 figures. Right. Is what that kind of attracts when you get the government involved. That's the only plus to having privatized, is that you can get the best of the best, but them motherfuckers want their money. And that was what my point was, that I think the government's stealing enough that they could still have these doctors where, hell, you want fucking $1.3 million to do brain surgery? No problem. We got that. Go ahead and do his brain surgery. But they won't do that.
Right.
And there may be more to it than that. That's just my simplified way of what I hear that's bad about trying to have some government-run hospital system. It sounds great, like everything a liberal talks about. It sounds great on the surface. Everybody gets free health care. Yeah, but what kind of fucking health care are we getting is the problem when it's free. Yeah. That's the only problem. And that's the kind of health care you're kind of talking about. I get what you're saying. Like, the hospitals don't have to be government run. But they're only private because they're making so much money, because it's so profitable. So they're not going to lose that. They're going to have to keep up with that somehow. These hospitals, man. I don't know. It's a deep issue, man. And like I said, it's might be a little more to it than how I'm explaining it. But in Olivia's, and you see the comment I pulled up. Insulin should not cost $2,000, and it shouldn't, because it's a life-saving drug for people that have diabetes. There's no way you should have to spend that kind of money to continue on with your life.
Right.
That's ridiculous. It's not like you just want some hormone therapy because you don't know your gender. Like, this is life-saving. You should not be in a hole that much and have to scrape by to afford medicine that you could die without. It's nonsense. It makes no fucking sense to me at all. Not when we don't have to. This is the richest, most wealthiest country on the face of the earth. It's the best country, but yet they treat their citizens like shit when they don't have to do it. It's terrible. Matter of fact, see that flag behind us on the screen? I'm taking it off of here. Fuck that. I'm switching it. I'm going to Canada. They got free health care. Anyway, stop being a communist. That's true. And then that's kind of what,
Commies.
Yeah, drugs are bad, okay? Yeah, drugs are bad. All right, let's get off here. It's fucking late. Tired of ranting. We done went off on Muslims tonight and trans people. We weren't trying to do all that. This is a family-friendly, positive show. Damn it. You don't want to go blasting people's religion. Next thing you know, they'll be fucking flying planes into my house. I don't need that. I don't need that kind of trouble in my life.
We did get on the trans, and Olivia said their vagina cost $75K, and they stayed the whole time, so they liked our trans rants. So
Yeah,
there you
we're
go.
friends
Yeah, we don't have
now,
a problem with
Olivia.
trans. We love the trans. Let me show you. I do it all the time to prove I am down.
boom.
I'm down with the cause. Just stop going and fucking stop swinging your dick around ladies' bathrooms.
That's it.
And stop trying to make these kids believe they should be transitioning before they're fucking adults. When they're an
Simple
adult,
request.
let them cut off whatever body part they want. That's the way. And I'm sure it's a small portion of the trans community that tries to push that shit, but it is there. It's not 0%. One is too many. Stop talking to kids about that shit. Stop talking to them about sexuality at all. That's it. So where's the that's the best comment of the night. Damn, y'all are stupid. We're fixing to change the show. Call it that from now on. I love it. So I'm assume stupid in a good way. Respect. Y'all getting to be too much. Matt, it was good seeing you in the
Good night.
comments, buddy. Hope y'all have fun. Y'all hit that subscribe button if you ain't done it yet. It was a little slow night. Wasn't much.
Paul,
a little over
thanks for
1,000
watching.
views.
Olivia,
Look
we're
what we
friends
had
now.
last week. It was almost 60,000 on the last show.
60K.
Now YouTube's like, we'll show it to 1,000 people. Here you go. Fuck off, YouTube.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Better have
Yeah.
like 70 subscribers. I see y'all in the comments, and y'all better hit the button.
Yep. So, all right. Well, let's roll out. I don't think we solved any of the world's problems. All we did was piss people off, but it is what it is. So we'll be back. I want to say, maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. Who knows? Who
Turn
cares?
notifications on.
Yep. Y'all be good. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Bye.